If it doesn't exist, create it. Hey everyone, Templar74 here with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today's Yu-Gi-Oh video is going to be my thoughts and impressions regarding the latest episode of Yu-Gi-Oh VRAINS, episode 99, Door to the New World. I gotta be honest with you guys, this episode had me with my mouth wide open multiple times throughout the episode. I was going, what the... And oh my god, throughout this episode. This episode was really intense. This arc has not failed to deliver on intense dialogue-heavy episodes, and this episode is no exception to that. But we'll get into all of that soon enough. So, at risk of further rambling, let's move on to the actual episode. So the episode begins with a recap of Revolver's defeat and Lightning's absorption last episode, before we finally see Bowman and Playmaker face off for their next round, their final round, and Bowman just decides, you know what, this flower field where Revolver was just destroyed and where Lightning was destroyed is not suitable. I'm going to take us to a stage much more fitting for the final battle. And Bowman actually transports him and Playmaker and I to Central City Courtyard in VRAINS. Well, technically it's Mirror Link VRAINS at this point. And the Hanoi are watching on, and Zyzen and Ghost Girl are watching on. And as everybody's watching on, waiting for this duel to get underway, Zyzen and Ghost Girl decide they're going to hack into Link VRAINS, shut it down, and reboot it despite possible risk. And that risk is, if we do this unexpectedly, these people that we're going to force to log out are going to suffer mental damage. But Zyzen is just basically going on the premise of, well, it's better than sitting here and doing nothing. So they're going in for this. And the Knights of Hanoi are just watching on. They're putting all their faith in Playmaker, because at this point, Playmaker is the only one left. So it's kind of interesting. Hanoi are still backing Playmaker, even with the loss of Revolver, which, I mean, I gotta be honest, I kind of expected. But whether they play any significant part now at this point, I don't think so, but I do think they probably will continue to watch on and cheer Playmaker on. We even saw Roboppy cheer them on. I mean, you gotta love that too, right? So anyway, as this is going on, the duel begins, but not before Bowman frees Frog and Pigeon. He's basically saying, okay, you guys, your services are no longer needed. Go wherever you please. He takes those exploding collars off that Wendy put on him, and they actually do something really stupid. Frog's just like, no, I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna record this, I have nothing else to live for. He actually snaps the collar back on. I'm like, dude, you could sit there and record the duel without putting the explosive back on. I mean, you're an idiot for doing that. But anyway, I digress with that. They put themselves back in the collars, and the duel begins, and Bowman basically says to Playmaker, when this duel ends, the new world door will be open, and Bowman infuses his deck with the Ignis's power, the 5 Ignises other than I, and then creates an algorithm, which at this point just appears kind of like a neutron, is what it kind of reminds me of. This algorithm is just floating there, and this unsettles everybody. The Knights of Hanoi, Zyzen, Ghost Girl, Playmaker, they all get a bad feeling about this. So not wanting to waste any time, Zyzen begins hacking into this VRAINS program. He's going to get it restarted, he hopes. And so the duel begins here, and Bowman takes the first move, and Bowman actually does something really bizarre. He does a continuous link summon. He even goes so far, though, is to use a link 2 to summon a link 1, which kind of confuses Playmaker and I, but ultimately his real plan is revealed when he's able to bring out 5 link 1 monsters with different attributes thanks to effects here. So this is kind of unsettling, because at first they're like, oh great, link 4 monster is coming. But no, that doesn't happen. Just now these 5 link 1 monsters, and at first they're like, okay, he's got 5 Link 1 monsters, what's he going to do? Because there's no Link 5 monsters, they don't exist here. And Bowman is basically laughing at I for this, and he says, you should know by now, if you don't have it, or if it doesn't exist, you create it. And Bowman creates this powerful data storm here, and as he's doing this Ignis algorithm back in the regular Link VRAINS is shooting lightning down at these people, and it's actually done this a couple times before that. But when this lightning shoots through these people's heads, they start screaming, and this sets off Playmaker's Link Sense. And Bowman does this essentially every time he makes a move. And we learn later on in the episode that when this is happening, Bowman is actually stealing these people's consciousnesses to make this happen. So basically, he's using their consciousness to the point where they're just hollow shells. Once their consciousness is expelled, they're just lying on the ground motionless. They're essentially dead. But Bowman takes these consciousness and he's able to do the unthinkable. He uses Master Storm access, the data storm, and is able to pull out a Link 5 monster, the first Link 5 monster ever in Vrains, and that's Link 5 Chimera Hydrodrive Dragrid. And this thing is just mind-boggling. He summoned a Link 5. Everybody is horrified by this, and I love the little transition scene here. We see the Knights of Hanoi like, what? We see Zaizen and Ghost Girl, what? Playmaker and I are just like, oh my gosh, he just summoned a Link 5. So yeah, this massive Link 5 monster is there, and Bowman essentially says that this is the monster that's going to end him. And it's at this point that Bowman's contradiction comes in, because I calls him out on it. He says, what you're doing is no different than what Lightning was doing, because you said that when Lightning used Jin's consciousness as a shield to prevent Revolver from fighting, that was unfair. How is this any different? And Bowman just doesn't fail to see the difference here. He doesn't see the contradiction. He's like, I'm not doing the same thing Lightning did, so what's wrong with it? And I doesn't have a really good comeback to that. So yeah, I is just left here, although I do agree with I's point to a degree. How could Bowman say that what Lightning was doing is unfair, but what he's doing is perfectly fine? And as his plan comes into focus here, I even go so far as to call Bowman a dictator, and Bowman just kind of shrugs it off. He's just like, well, there's no need to glorify the position. But yeah, Playmaker's not having any of this. It infuriates him. Playmaker makes his move, and he synchro summons Cyverse Quantum Dragon in hopes to use its effect, because that effect is when it battles a Link monster, it sends it back to the deck. Well, Bowman tells Playmaker that ain't gonna work, and Bowman activates another skill during this master duel, and we're left on the cliffhanger where Bowman essentially says he is creating the new world and fear what is beyond your imagination. Essentially, he's going beyond the imagination of duelists at this point on that ominous cliffhanger, and that's where the episode leaves off. So like I said, this episode was really dialogue heavy, really intense. The stakes are really high here. A Link 5 monster, it really just had me going, what the beep the entire time throughout this episode. You know, it's just one of those episodes where you're at a loss of what to say for it, in my opinion. If the episode was still a great episode, I give this episode a 9 out of 10. This arc is really just crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's when it comes to having everything for a good Yu-Gi-Oh arc with this arc. Lightning has already probably claimed my third top spot of favorite Yu-Gi-Oh villain. He's right there behind Bakura and Merrick in the original Duel Monster saga. Bowman's plan here is really crazy. It's hard to believe that somebody could top what the Knights of Hanoi did way back in season 1, but Bowman's successfully doing it. The dialogue of this episode was just great, and yeah, there's really not a whole lot more to say about this, except I can't wait to see where this duel goes, especially considering we got the new episode titles yesterday, you know, for the rest of this duel, so I'm really excited to see where it goes, but we'll have to just wait and see for that. But as always, everybody, let me know what your guys' thoughts were about the episode and everything that went on this week in the comments section down below, because as always, I enjoy hearing from you. All right, everyone, as always, Templar74 signing off. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye, everybody. Hey, everyone, Templar74 here. Did you enjoy the video? Do you want to help support me in making more content like this and see your name here at the end of every video? Then consider supporting me on Patreon. Any help is greatly appreciated and will help ensure continuation and increase the quality of production of the videos that I'm able to make for all of you. Link down below. Again, thank you so much for your support and for liking and subscribing. You all are amazing. And as always, everyone, Templar74 signing off. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.